Humans have been going on pilgrimages for centuries to pursue enlightenment, feel closer to religious figures, or to achieve personal growth. Today, not all pilgrimages have to be huge undertakings. The Yanaka Shichifukujin can be completed in as little as 2 hours. But don't let the short distance discredit this experience. Throughout this presentation, not only will we discover the rich spiritual and cultural significance of each god, but we'll also experience the beauty and charm of Yanaka, one of Tokyo's most well preserved neighborhoods. Today, we are going to take a look at the Yanaka neighborhood, what it's known for, and what to do there. Then, we will discuss the history of the Seven Lucky Gods pilgrimage in this specific area. Finally, we will walk through the pilgrimage and discuss the temples along the way. Welcome to Yanaka, one of Tokyo's most traditional districts. This area survived the World War II bombing, the Great Kanto earthquake, and the fire of 1923. Home to many artists and writers, this district hosts a rich history and beautiful architecture. It is also the home of the oldest Seven Lucky Gods pilgrimage. Yanaka Ginza is a narrow street packed with around 60 local shops selling a variety of handmade foods, traditional crafts, and tea. This area is only accessible on foot. Pictured next to the shops are some rice balls with red beans. Snacks like these are readily available, along with traditional restaurants and coffee shops. Additionally, the area hosts several well-known cemeteries. One of these is the final resting place of the last shogun of Japan, Tokugawa Yoshinobu. Not far from this famous cemetery is a building known as Space Oguraya. Registered as a cultural property, this 150-year-old building hosts a wide variety of modern and historical art. Its galleries contain pottery, ink prints, and paper. The first procession of the Lucky Gods took place during the Muromachi period, sometime between 1336 and 1573. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the seven gods were frequently shown in ukiyo-e prints, and their popularity and association with New Year's continued to grow throughout the Edo period. They won the hearts of the populace and became muses for artists. Japan swiftly adopted the notion of visiting them to revere and draw success and pleasure in all areas of everyday life, such as one's job, love, and health.
The Yanaka pilgrimage is most commonly undertaken through January 1st through 10, as Japanese people all over the country visit to wish for good fortune with the new year. The route starts through the small and twisting roads of Yanaka and ends in the large, ample Ueno Park. The most common route takes less than 2 hours to complete, for a total trek of around 3.5 miles. Though the seven lucky gods work independently, they were grouped together as they serve a similar purpose to bring good fortune. Though they are all beacons of luck, they have unique traits and specialties. Any person seeking blessings or purification can benefit from partaking on this journey. The following map outlines the most common route to visit all seven temples. It is recommended the last stop be Benzaiten's temple in Ueno Park, since the park has various museums and shops and streets to explore after finishing the journey. Since this pilgrimage was created a long time ago, it was designed to be traveled on foot. Therefore, there are train stations nearby the first and last temples, so travelers can easily walk to their destination. The closest stop is JR Tabata Station, which will place you about 6-minute walking distance from the first target, Togakuji Temple, dedicated to Fukurokuju. Then you'll travel about 12 minutes to the next destination, Seunji Temple, dedicated to Ebisu. Only 3 minutes away is the third temple, Shusein, dedicated to Hote. Near this stop is our first point of interest, Yamaka Ginza. As mentioned earlier, this historic street has survived various catastrophes. It still retains a traditional charm, complemented by the various traditional Japanese goods sold through the market, including tea, kimonos, tofu, and wagashi, which is Japanese confectionery. From our third stop, we'll travel 10 minutes to Choanji Temple, dedicated to Judojin. 5 minutes away is Tennoji Temple, dedicated to Bishamonten. The sixth target, Gokokuin Temple, dedicated to Daikokuten, is a 12-minute walk away. Before reaching it, though, we'll cross our second point of interest, Yanaka Okano Eisen. This confectionery store was founded in 1900. It's famous for its mame daifuku, which are rice cakes filled with sweet red bean paste. Between this stop and the next one lies our third point of interest, the Tokyo National Museum. The largest art museum in Japan, the Tokyo National Museum, boasts over 120,000 cultural properties, though only 3,000 are displayed at a time and interchanged every couple of months. The museum preserves and displays a comprehensive collection of artwork and cultural objects from Asia with a focus on ancient medieval Japanese art. You'll find a lot of vases, paintings, poetry here. Our final stop, Shinobazu no Iki Bentendo, dedicated to Benzaiten, is another 12-minute walk away. This stop is located in the giant Ueno Park, which used to be part of the nearby Kaneiji Temple. However, most of the temple was destroyed during the Battle of Ueno in 1868. The current Bentendo is also not the first of its name, as the original was destroyed during a bombing raid in World War II. After taking in the history of Ueno Park, you can head to the final point of interest, Ueno Ameyoko Shopping Street. This open air market sells clothes, bags, jewelry, cosmetics, food, and more. Ameyoko's street name comes from its origin as a street where sweets, ame, were sold. It later became a reference to America, as it was the site of a black market after World War II. There are, of course, many other interesting locations nearby, such as the Tokyo Metropolitan Art Museum and the National Museum of Nature and Science, as well as the Museum of Western Art. If you take the route shown, the pilgrimage will take about 68 minutes, leaving you with plenty of time to explore the many interesting sites nearby. In the following slides, we'll break down each stop, discussing the history of the temple and the lucky god enshrined there. We'll also include a picture of each temple's unique seal, which can only be collected from January 1st to January 10th.
The first stop of the pilgrimage is to Togakuji Temple, where the Japanese luck god of wisdom and happiness, Fukuro Koju, can be found. His appearance is described as an elderly bald man with a huge forehead. Since Togakuji Temple is the starting point for the pilgrimage, it is advised that you arrive early or be prepared to wait in long lines. The notable aspects of this temple is that there is a pair of two muscular Buddhas standing guard, but they will always be covered in red paper, which are called akagame. The reason for why they are covered in the red papers is that when visitors come, they take the paper and they place it on the statue to where it is hurting on their body. And it is said that by doing that, the gods will cure you of the pain that is affecting you in that specific. The second stop of the pilgrimage takes us to Seunji Temple, where the Japanese god of good luck and fishermen Ibisu can be found. His appearance is one of a round bearded man who wields a fishing rod in one hand and a sea bream fish in the other. Ibisu is often depicted as having a limp, but is very popular in Japan as he is a representative of the god of the sea there. He is prayed to for good fortune in business and for good luck in fishing, as he is well revered among the fishing community. What is interesting about his temple is, apart from it being established in the mid-18th century, it hosts a stone monument with a writing from famous Edo period author Baken Takezawa. And during the Edo period, his temple was a very popular spot to view cherry blossoms from, which earned it the name of Hanaimidera, which translates into Cherry Blossom Viewing Temple. And he is, out of the seven gods, he is the only one to have thought to have been originated in. For the third stop of the pilgrimage, it features the welcoming Shusein Temple, where the Japanese god Hote can be found. Hote is commonly associated with children and the poor. His bright smile and relaxed posture is reassuring to those who may visit. Look for the bright pink wall as you approach the temple, and before entering, guests are asked to take off their shoes, which can contribute to the homey feeling. Once inside the temple, guests can pray to a giant gold shrine of the smiling Buddha. The smiling Buddha is equipped with a large bag that is said to be full of endless supplies of rice, food, and other blessings to bestow. Visitors can also pray for happiness, contentment, and abundance in their lives. And apart from praying to the smiling Buddha, guests can also view other artifacts, such as a pagoda from the 1600s that is an Arakawa Ward cultural property. The fourth visit of the pilgrimage is to Chowanji Temple, where the Japanese god of longevity, Jirojin, can be found. He appears as an elderly man, almost grandfatherly like. Out of the seven temples, it is said that the Chowanji Temple is to be considered as the smallest one of them. Inside the temple, you will find various statues of the Buddha that are scattered along the trees that were planted there. You can also find the tomb of Kano Holgai, who was the great painter in the Edo period. As for the wooden Jirojin statue that can be found in the main hall, rumor has it that Ieyasu Tokugawa, who was the first shogun of the Tokugawa shogunate, paid himself to have it built. The fourth visit of the pilgrimage takes us to the Temple of Chowanji, where the Japanese luck god of longevity, Jirojin, can be found. He appears as an elderly man, almost grandfatherly like in appearance. Out of the seven temples, the Chowanji temple is considered to be the smallest one of them. Inside the temple, you can find various statues of the Buddha that are scattered along the trees that were planted there. Also, you can find the tomb of Kano Holgai, who was a great painter in the Edo period. As for the wooden Jirojin statue that can be found in the main hall, rumor has it that Ieyasu Tokugawa, who was the first shogun of the Tokugawa shogunate, paid himself to have it constructed. And many come to this temple to pray for long life, safety, and good health. The second to last stop in the pilgrimage is to Gokokuin Temple, where the Japanese luck god of wealth, Daigo Kuten, can be found. His appearance is one of a smiling man who boasts a round belly. The temple's courtyard can serve as an outdoor no theater, and prayers to Daigo Kuten consist of one of good fortune for the new year to come. An interesting fact is the image of Daigo Kuten was donated to the temple by Tokugawa Iemitsu, who was the third general in the Tokugawa shogunate. Apart from the courtyard serving as a no theater, another aspect of the temple is that there is a huge lantern that hangs by the main temple building, which is very hard not to miss.
The final stop on the pilgrimage is Benzaiten and Shinobazu no Ikebentendo in Kaneiji Temple. This temple is located on an island in Shinobazu Pond in Ueno Park. It was built by Tenkai, a Buddhist monk and founder of the Kaneiji Temple during the Kane area from 1624 to 1645 in the early Edo period. The main deity enshrined here is Benzaiten. Benzaiten is the goddess of fortune, beauty, talent, knowledge, love, and more. She stems from the Hindu goddess Saraswati and is often depicted playing a biwa, a Japanese instrument. She is said to be able to purify others and get rid of any malice around them, so her shrines are visited by people young and old hoping for good fortune in their love and their life.
Goshuin, Emma, and Omamori, as well as the Omikuji in the Tennoji Temple. Imaro Shrine in the Imaro area of Asakusa, where the first Maneki Neko, or waving cat, was created during the Edo period. Decorating the main shrine are waving cats the size of children. Their names are Nagi-chan and Nami-chan, a reference to Izanagi and Izanami. The pattern cat on the left is Nagi-chan, the male, and on the right is Nami-chan, the female. The god of wealth and longevity, and one of the Asakusa's seven lucky gods, is located here. The Emma wooden plaques are an eye-catching sight around the grounds, packed together tightly around the sacred tree and around the Chumizuya. Round in Japanese is En, which is a homophone also meaning destiny. The round-shaped Emma originate from the idea of a sense of harmony and peace in life with no edges. A lot of visitors also go to temples to draw Japanese language fortunes. called omikuji. The Goshuin stamp at Imaro Shrine is waving cats and Fukurokujo. Omamori charms are located on the left. History of Goshuin stamps. Goshuin are a sacred item between the visitor and the temple or shrine. It is believed that Goshuin were created during the Nara period to have an official record of pilgrimages. Goshuin are actually sometimes hidden inside the temple. Very small temples and shrines might only have Goshuin during New Year's or special events, but larger ones will have them all year round. Each Goshuin is handwritten with beautiful calligraphy in vermilion. Originally, Goshuin stamps were given as a receipt for copying scriptures and giving temple offerings. A completed Goshuinsho is equivalent to a powerful amulet. The more books someone finishes, the more protection they will receive. On the right is a picture of Goshuinsho books from the Tennoji Temple.
Some fun and final extra details about the Yanaka Shichifukujin are that though most Shichifukujin pilgrimages in Japan contain a mix of Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples, because Japan has seamlessly combined both of these religions, all of the stops on the Yanaka Shichifukujin are Buddhist temples. There are no Shinto shrines on this one, but there usually are on others. In addition, visitors can only collect the Goshuin, the shrine seals, from January 1st to January 10th, which is when most people partake the pilgrimage to begin with. That is the only time that the monks are designing the seals. It is said that if you collect all of the seals from the seven temples, your wish will come true. So, further incentivizing travelers to complete their journey. And while most shuins are given at the temples, for the visitors at Tennoji, it is issued in a building next to it. So, we hope you enjoyed our presentation on the Yanaka Chichifukujin, the oldest seven lucky god pilgrimage in Tokyo. Finally, we have a credit page, as none of this would have been possible without all of the blogs and sites that we used to collect both the stamps and the seals, given we are not currently in Japan, and of course to all the historical information that we gathered thanks to various sources, including articles, studies, museums, and more. Finally, we have our second reference page. And again, thank you to all of the people that provided us with the resources to be able to finish this interesting project. It has been a pleasure, and good luck on your next pilgrimage.